Hello and welcome, fellow Wasteland survivors. I'm Dean. Thanks for stopping in for part 6 of our basic introduction on how to build circular or curved structures in our settlement. Now, once again, the tips and tricks that we're going to see in today's video are extremely advanced. So, I do recommend that you might want to check out the other videos in this series first to help you better understand the demonstrations that we're going to be seeing in today's video. What we're going to be looking at today is completing our main base for our round or circular structure, and we'll have a complete 360-degree round structure. Also, we're going to see how the floors are integrated into a round structure so that they blend up and match with the floors that we've already created. Also, we're going to take a quick look at something that we can do at the very end of the build to help button it up and complete it so it is solid all the way around. So, since this video has got a lot of information, it's pretty long, let's get started. Alright, for today's demonstration, since we've already seen how to lay the floors in, I went ahead and laid our markers out already for us. Also, I've taken our walls out and placed the floors in that we had originally got in, so that way we can continue our circle around and you guys can see how that looks. Now, there's a couple of things I'd like to cover or touch base on again before we continue. If you remember, our build is 2 floors in each direction from the center, and that's where I'm standing right now. So, 1, 2 floors. This is the edge and where our wall will go. From the center again, which is right here, 1 floor, 2 floors, once again where our wall will go. Also right here, 1 floor, 2 floors, and that's where the next wall will go. Also, for the new part we haven't built yet, 1 floor, 2 floors, and right here is where our wall will go in. Now, as you can see, there isn't a marker for that particular wall yet. Well, there's 2 ways we can actually do it. Since we've already put this one in perfect right here, and it has the carpet underneath of it, all we have to do is place in 1 floor, another floor, and we could continue this all the way down. And now we can put our marker in. Now also, because of the way that we've built this particular curved structure, this floor is one that had a carpet under it, as well as this floor had a carpet under it. So, we could actually build off any of these 3 points to get our 4th point in. And as soon as we placed a marker there, it would actually be the correct height that we would need it to be if a carpet was underneath of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to see another way to actually put this in, because we still want to see the carpets and how the barn floors go in. So we'll take this out, we'll go to the concrete section, we will get a curved floor out. This is exactly what we did on the other side to start, and this allows us to get an absolute perfect wall to go, or floor, excuse me, to go in there. And then we can just lift that bugger up, and there we go. Now we've got a perfect aligned marker to put our other markers on for our floor. So we'll put 1 there and 1 there. Okay, also, let's change our markers up here so they're all on the right side, just like the other markers that we've already been doing. So we'll just put 1 right there. We'll move this one here. We'll move this one there, and we'll take that one away. I do believe this side is already marked correctly, and it is. Alright, let's go ahead and take that out. Now, let's go ahead and lay our floors in so we can see our curved structure. Oh, you know what? I'm jumping the gun here a little bit. First, before we do that, we actually need to put our carpets in and our barn floors. So let's take these ones out we've already done, because they'll just be in the way as we're trying to do it. Okay, so first things first. Since we had a carpet under this one, we need to skip one. We'll marker it. We'll skip one. We'll marker it. This one would be the one with the carpet under it. We'll skip one, marker that, skip one, and marker this. But this one already had a carpet under it, so we don't really actually need a carpet or a marker to carpet that one. Now let's go ahead and grab our carpet, and once again we'll use this one because I do kind of feel it is a little thicker. I don't know if it is or not, but kind of feels like it is. And we'll just put a carpet in front of each one of these that we've already marked. Now we've already placed a carpet, remember, on these side ones that we've taken out, and I'd already done. So now what we need to do is place our markers back in there on top of the carpets. We'll do that real quick, and we are done. Now we'll move our markers over to the next floors, and we should have left that one there. Okay, there. Let's move this one here. We'll take that one out. We'll skip one. We'll take this one out. We'll skip, and we'll go to there. Okay, so carpet, barn floor. Let's go to the barn floors, and we'll get one out. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we discovered that the barn floors, these quarter ones, don't like to snap on this side if the floor boards are running away and to us. So we'll want to make sure and spin those so we don't have any snapping issues while we're doing this. And right there. There we go. Okay, now let's check them, make sure everything's okay, and they're all in the right positions. Okay, looks good. Let's go ahead and take our markers out, because now the next thing that we need to do is select each one of these floors so that they pop up out of the floor. Once again, we've already done this one. So our first one is a barn floor. We'll select it. It pops up out of the floor. This one's on a carpet, so we'll select it. It lifts up. We'll put it back down again. Select this one. It pops up. This one's on a carpet, so we'll select it, put it back down. This one's in the floor. Select it, put it down, and we'll do that all the way around to right here. Once again, we've already done this one. Alright, now we can go ahead and put our floors in. And let's see what our structure, or the base of our structure, looks like. And then we'll go on from there. There we go. Nice. And our final one in right there. Okay, perfect. We now have our main base of our curved structure. And because of the way that we've done it over the last couple of videos, it's a perfect circle, and it all blends in and matches up with one another. Now, there's one thing I'd like to mention real quick before we continue, and that is build order. Depending upon which wall that you're going to use to do these will depend if you get this very last one in right here. Normally what I like to do is start in a position build half of it clockwise, go back to the starting position, build the rest of it counterclockwise. And if we was to have done that, this would have actually been the last piece to go in. And even though these will snap very easily in the floors, some of the walls that are half the width of a floor are not as generous to put them in, such as the curved metal walls or the walls that we put in on our last episode. So keep that in mind. Depending upon which walls you're putting up, you may have a few adjustments that you have to do at the end. So this is what I'd like to do. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Once again, lots of fires, lots of smoke out there, hard to breathe. Since we have our floors in and everything looks great, let's go ahead and pull all of our markers up and our carpets, and then we'll remark it from the inside. Now, if you'll remember right, I did say in an earlier video that it is always easier to mark it from the outside. And it's true, it is easier to do that. But for what we're getting ready to do shortly, we can go ahead and actually marker it from the inside. Let's take a look at, okay, before we continue on, let's talk about something that we did in the last video. The reason why we put one floor on a carpet and then a barn floor, another one on a carpet, and so on around, is so that we could integrate a floor into this build. By placing a carpet on top or underneath one of the floors, it has slightly lifted it up where we can place floors inside of it at our original height, which just happens to be the floor we're standing on. So all we'd have to do at this point right now is add a floor, add another floor, take that one out, and let this one drop down because it's the one that was setting on a carpet. And now from this point, we could literally set floors into every one of these areas. Oh, there we go. And sometimes they just are a little stubborn, but if you work with it, oh, there it was. It'll go. And let's see if we can get this one in. Alright, there we go. Now, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually got an entire full floor into the curved floors because we used the carpet. Now, the barn floor is already thicker by quite a bit than a regular quarter floor vanilla quarter floor. So by lifting that quarter floor, vanilla quarter floor up by the height of the carpet, that's what allowed us to actually drop these pieces or these floors, and let's get them all running the same way so it looks kind of cool. But that's why we were able to actually place all of these floors into this build, is because of that tip or that trick. Once again, it's about build order. If you can really get build order down to a science, it's amazing how things will go in where they normally wouldn't. And it looks like this one doesn't want to go in only the one way, or it doesn't want to go in at all now. Alright, we'll just put it back in there. Once again, we just have to work with that, and it would go back in there. It's just being stubborn right now. We may have to change our height. If you notice, remember in a previous video, we actually went lower to get something to snap. We went higher to get something to snap. But this is a great way or a great tip to make a solid full floor, even though we've built a round structure. And it's all exactly the same height. All right, let's go ahead and take this floor out. And let's continue on now. As a final part of this series, I will show that again in a smaller, more detailed, what do I say, a detailed tip on it, so you guys can see it a little more precise and why that actually works. Okay, now, since we're ready to put our walls up, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, also at this point, from this floor right here that we had in the center, we could actually build our roofs in as well, doing the same trick. Now, you wouldn't probably be able to use a roof, but you could still do it with the floors, and it would match the ceilings up with the floor. So we might want to consider doing that real quick, so that later on we've already got a marker up. And this is what you would actually do. We would do, let's put a wall up. Actually, I forgot to drop that down. So let's click on it so it drops down. Actually, it wouldn't have mattered. We got to put the floor, or take the wall out and then, or floor out, then click on the wall to make the wall drop down. Now we could go ahead and place a, well, we're going to have to use an upper shack floor to do it. And that'll be good. We'll take that out, and now we can just put a marker there. And we've got a marker that will already be there for when we're ready to build our ceiling. Alright, now let's go ahead and marker up the centers of these. And let's see if we can't get our walls in real quick. Okay, if it's not snapping in good for you, just place one onto the other side where it will snap, and then you'll be able to get one in there. As you guys can see, oh, see, that one just went in fine. Okay, that one's going to go in fine. Sometimes if you just move around, they'll actually snap in there, but in case they're not, just marker the side and then put a second one into it. There we go. And see how that one's wanting to be stubborn? So we'll just marker this other side. Maybe we will. Okay, come on. Wait. Oh, hold it. Was that it? Nope, that wasn't it. Sometimes they don't like to snap because if you notice, we're covering some of the snap point of the floor. So sometimes it just, doesn't want to snap in there because of that. It's just got too much covering the snap point. So this is what we'll do. We'll mark that one. We'll pull this out and just set it here. Now we'll go ahead and mark it, and then we can mark it like that again. Now we'll put this one back in because we had a marker on it. Don't forget, you got to put your markers on there. And now let's see if the final one will mark for us. Excellent. Now how about this one? Tell you what, let's take this marker out. That's our final destination, or our final ending point. So let's just go ahead and marker these up. Okay, perfect. Now, since this is our final floor, let's mark it out there. And then we will go ahead and pull that floor out. Now, since we've markered every floor, and we'll check to make sure, just in case one is not in the right spot, we can make that adjustment now, because once we pull these out and there's no marker there, we'll be screwed. We'll have to go back and do a big chunk of it over again. You might want to consider actually saving quite frequently. Now, I'm used to building a lot on survival. Doesn't mean I still don't make mistakes, but I've learned how to curve those mistakes and get them down quite frequently, or quite a bit, because of playing on survival. Alright, now we've got our markers on the inside. Now we're going to start right here in the middle. Like how I said, I like to start in a point, build clockwise, come back to the start point, and build counterclockwise. So let's go ahead, place one marker up, and let's go get a floor. Or excuse me, a wall. And I think we'll just continue with these walls right here. Really like them. They're pretty cool. Now, it doesn't matter if you decide to go counterclockwise or clockwise first. Just pick a way and get going. And there we go. Now the next one to go in. There we go. And like I said, you'll just have to move around sometimes a little bit. Different views or different points will make that snap. Or the different snap points. Make it easier to find the different snap points, I guess I should say. And we'll do one more, I think, and then we're finally at the end. Okay, perfect. Now let's go back and work our way back around. Now there's kind of a reason why I do this, and we're going to see that here shortly. If you guys remember, I said just a little bit earlier in this video that it's easy to snap the floors in and the straight walls, but it's not so easy when it comes time to snap in these half a width walls. And we're going to see that here in just a second. And we got one more, and that's okay. It's not in the way. I was worried about that marker was going to be in the way. Alright, now, even though, let's see, we've got everything in, so let's go ahead and take our markers out. I guess actually we should be checking first to make sure everything is perfect and not one of these are in the wrong position. Okay, let's take all of our markers up so we've got some room to work. Okay, excellent. Now, even though we've got this last floor to put in, it doesn't mean that we're going to be able to get it to snap in there. We've mentioned a couple of times in this series that objects do not like to penetrate into multiple objects. It's pretty easy to get them to snap into one 99% of the time. 2 objects, not so much. 3 objects, virtually impossible. And this would actually be penetrating 3 objects. First of all, the wall itself is going to be one of the objects, and it'll be penetrating in right here on this post. Plus, it'll be penetrating in on this floor. Also, penetrating on that post, penetrating on that floor. So realistically, this new wall would actually have 5 places that it's trying to penetrate into. And you can see that because see how it's floating up in the air? It's hitting every one of those areas that I just mentioned, and it's thinking that that's where, well, I don't know what it's thinking. If we knew what it was thinking, then we would be a machine, I guess. I don't know. But there's no way we're ever going to be able to put a piece in there. So what we can do actually is use something different. Maybe what we'll use is like a doorway. And maybe we might want to make a balcony to go out here. Now we could try to use group select, bring a piece in and try to get it in there. But it probably isn't going to work with this style of wall because of these posts right here. If this style of wall did not have this post and it was just the ceiling and this post and the floor, we could probably get it in there. When I use the curved metal walls, because it has no outer post, it was easy to actually group select that particular wall and bring it in. So you'll want to try to do something to modify this a little bit. Now we could probably maybe group select one of the curved metal walls and bring it in, because its curve would actually be up above the posts. But we're not going to waste a lot of time doing that. We're just going to go ahead and try put a doorway in here. Now, keep this in mind, once again, ladies and gentlemen. Because this is hitting so many objects, we can't even get a barn floor to go in. But we could get 2 single quarter floors to go in. The reason is because this object is only penetrating into one object, not even the post, because it's below it. Same thing for this side over here. But because the other piece of barn wall is the full half width, it's hitting the multiple pieces, and that's why it wouldn't never go in there. And now all we'd have to actually do is snap a door on there. But build order comes into play here again, and we wouldn't actually be able to snap a door frame on there. The reason is because the door frames are finicky as hell, and it's actually going to be hitting these 2 outside posts. So what we're going to want to do is remarker our sides, take let's see, let's move this one to there, take it out. Now we can go ahead and take these 2 walls out. We can add another marker in. I don't think that that's going to work. We could actually use our concrete wall trick and move this back so that this is here. Let's give that a shot and let's see if that'll actually work. So let's marker this guy up. We'll use one of these. And now we'll go to the concrete section, get out a half a concrete wall, snap it to it. Oh, that's not a half a concrete wall, Bones. Okay, and now we will put on one of those, move it, take that away. You know what? We better mark that again. Even though we could just move it back easily, it's or fairly easy, it's just going to be easier to actually mark it. So now we can go ahead and move our wall. Now I don't think this floor actually, oh, it does snap to that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and pull that out. Now what we've done is we've brought this door frame in so it's not sticking out past. Now let's see if we can get our other walls to snap. I don't think they will because of that door frame. It's pretty damn finicky. And yeah, it's not looking like it's going to want to do that. Once again, it's because the door frame's finicky and it's hitting 1, 2, plus the building is 3. And that's what really makes these door frames finicky, is because of the width. If this wasn't as thick as what they've made it, it wouldn't be such an issue or a problem actually putting these door frames in like we have a lot of problems and issues with. Okay, let's move this out of the way. And since we had our marker in the original position, we will now move this up. And that should take care of us. Let's go ahead and remarker this again, just in case. And now let's go ahead and put our walls in. And there we go. Okay, now we can go ahead and take our markers out. And let's leave that one there. So this actually doesn't look too bad, other than it sticks out forward a little bit. That's really about the only thing that I don't like about doing something like this. But, you know, if you were using barn walls, you wouldn't have this issue, and you could put in doors, windows, whatever you wanted to, all the way around your build. Alright, well, I think that's about it for this particular video, ladies and gentlemen. In the next video, we'll go ahead and lay the floor down. Plus, we'll build a base or a stand for the floor so that it looks more realistic. For example, when we built the USS Enterprise, it's a spaceship. It floats in the air because of science fiction. If this was a build we were going to use in a settlement, it wouldn't look realistic sticking up in the air and nothing holding it up. So we're going to see a way to build a pretty cool base and a way to get into this build that would be pretty fun and easy to do as well. Alright everybody, thank you once again for stopping in, hanging out with me. I hope I see you for the next video. And just like always, please, until next time, stay safe and peace.